So Kevin Spacey did an interview with Piers Morgan and contradicted himself.
2015, I started seeing reports online, things on my Twitter account that I had flown to this guy Jeffrey Epstein's island and I had abused young girls. And I was like, I mean, if you'd asked me in 2015, maybe even if you'd asked me in 2002, did I know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? I probably would have said no. Well, of course, I have since learned who he is. And I have since been able to go back and find out that the airplane that we flew on for this humanitarian mission was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And to then learn, oh, he was actually on some of those flights. And this Maxwell woman was on some of those flights. I didn't know him. I've never spent any time with him. I was with the Clinton Foundation people. That's who I was with. Now, what I understand is that he didn't start to be investigated until 2005 by authorities in Florida. So here's what I can tell you. This Maxwell woman, she was one of many people that sat down next to me in that throne room. I have no relationship with her. I had no relationship with him. I mean, he's not my friend. I'm not a confidant. I've never spent time with him. And interestingly, I will say this. I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. And I developed relationships with Robert Earl, Pula Ladobovich, Robert Earl, a lot of wonderful people, Sir Richard Caring, people who supported the work that we did at the Old Vic and gave money to us. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights?
There were young girls on those flights, yeah.
So in 2015, Kevin Spacey said he started seeing things online that he had flown on a plane with this guy named Jeffrey Epstein and had abused young girls. Now, he then goes on to say, if you would have asked him in 2015 or 2022, if he would have knew a guy named Jeffrey Epstein, he would have said no. Now, today in 2024, he knows who he is, right? How convenient. So he is now saying that for all these years, for basically the first 13 years of being on Epstein's plane, that's from 2022 to 2015, going to his island and being on the planes with Epstein and Maxwell, that he didn't know who he was. If this isn't the biggest lie ever told, I don't know what is, right? Then to throw in the claim that it was a humanitarian mission he was on, it just makes it even more disgusting. Like, how are you on a plane with somebody for 13 years, right? And you don't know them. To say he didn't spend any time with Jeffrey Epstein is a clear lie. Because if you are on a private plane with someone, you are spending time with them. And you're Kevin Spacey. Jeffrey watched some of your movies. Come on. I can't believe Epstein would have a celebrity like yourself on his plane and not welcome or greet you. Now, to say you understand that Epstein was investigated in 2005 lets me know that you knew who he was prior to 2015 when you were accused of the heinous crime. You are just trying to walk yourself out of this mess. And Kevin, we watching. We see you. You know, Kevin Spacey then went on to say that he was thankful to Bill Clinton for introducing him to important people who had given him money over the years. And one of the people he never asked money for was Jeffrey Epstein. So you did know him. You just didn't need to ask him for money because he was the one flying you out to different countries in style. Why would Jeffrey need to give you money if he was technically giving you money anyway by paying for your travel? Come on, you are just a big liar, Kevin. You should have done the Liar Liar movie instead of Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? So you knew there were young girls on a flight to South Africa, but never reported it, and admitted to being gentle with women, but you don't want to use the term grope when you're being gentle and touching them. It's all right. You want to use words when you want to use them, and it's not all right. You are disgusting, Kevin. Kevin Spacey's association with Jeffrey Epstein and the subsequent allegations could have severe repercussions on his career. If it is proven that Spacey lied about his knowledge and interactions with Epstein, it could damage his reputation beyond repair. Being linked to such serious accusations involving abuse of young girls is likely to lead to widespread condemnation from the public and the entertainment industry. You know, even though you are not guilty, these charges could be brought back up. It's never over in America. Now, this case is not just about Kevin Spacey's career. It is about the justice for the victims. The accusation against Epstein and his associates involve severe crimes, including trafficking and abuse. Any attempt to downplay or dismiss these allegations undermine the experiences of the victims and hinders the pursuit of justice. The involvement of high-profile individuals like Spacey highlights the need for a thorough and unbiased investigation to ensure accountability and prevent such crimes from happening in the future. Taking this case seriously sends a strong message to that no one is above the law, regardless of their fame or status. It is crucial for the integrity of the justice system and for the protection of vulnerable individuals. You feel me? Now, please, to the people that's listening, subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what you think about this analysis on how I feel about Kevin Spacey. Tell me how you feel. Do you think he's off the hook? He's just going to be one of these Caucasian males that, you know, something happens and we don't hear nothing from him? I mean, with the internet today and how it is, I don't know. Let's see. So we got to do a big shout out to Piers Morgan, because that was a great interview. You caught him contradicting himself. I'm talking about Kevin Spacey. You got Kevin Spacey contradicting himself many of times in this interview. If they're going to bring up a lot of other people's old sexual assault cases and harassment, this is one of them. After the not guilty verdict, he got a little too comfortable. But now, you ain't no Jeffrey Epstein. Proof is in the pudding, homie. And we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub, too. That's my man, though.
Gang, gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.